Okay, it is a little bit after 6:30, and welcome to week number 8, Contemporary Issues in Criminal Justice, J280. And as I said at the beginning, the quarter would go pretty fast. We are at the point where we have one more lecture to go. That will be week 10, and then the quarter will be ending in the middle of March. I believe it's the 15th. I know it's the middle of March. But at any rate, it's on your calendar when the last day of class is. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and share my screen. Okay. So, of course, it gives my instructor information. And since we are at week 8, we're dealing with your field work again. Some of you have had some struggles with your field work, but I mentioned at the very beginning, the very first week, that you needed to get lined up right away for your field work, because this is going to be an important part of this course. That is, as a matter of fact, one of the foundational issues of this course, because in your field work, we want to see you apply your transferable skills that we talked about during open house, and that are constantly harped upon by every instructor in every class that you take here at Rasmussen College. So today's assignment, that's due on Sunday, explain progress with your fieldwork requirement, present issues or concerns concerning the field, and then make sure you put your grammar and citations and references in the body. You got to make sure you do that in your papers, because you will lose 5 points right off the bat. So you could potentially end up with 25 points, which a lot of you end up with, because you didn't do citations and references. Very, very, very important. So that's the written assignment for this week. You will see also, excuse me, that you have your discussion rubric. So for your discussion posts, and many of you are doing pretty good with your discussion posts. And you will also see down here that we have had 3 sessions, 2 lectures, including the open house. Week 1, week 3, week 6, and we got week 8, and then we'll have one more, week 10. Okay, and then I will give you a keyword, because as you know, it is required that you look at the lecture or attend a lecture and give me the keyword. To get your full points, it's got to be completed within the period of time, which is by this Sunday, because it's a written assignment. So you have to have that completed by then. So let's go over and look at our, excuse me. So let's look at the announcement for the week. Gaining real-world experience. One of the important things about internships, externships, and, this particular course is to give you an opportunity to be exposed to how things really take place. Because after all, it is your goal to work in the area. And I did encourage you at the very beginning to make sure that you picked an area that you intend on working, or that you have a desire to work in, or an interest to work in. So you had to do the assignments in Module 8. There is no textbook, as you already know, because this is a hands-on course. And then your discussion posts, fieldwork issues and experiences. Again, many of you have done pretty well with that. And then your reply post is due Saturday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard. Your initial post was due on yesterday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. Then finally on Sunday, as I already said, your written assignment is your field work and the progress report with the parameters that I gave you a few minutes ago, and reminding you that it is due on Sunday. Okay? All right, now let's get down and take a look at the course calendar, which is just, again, a reminder. All assignments from the beginning all the way to the end are in your course calendar. So we are right here, in starting with this past Monday the 19th, all the way up to today, then your reply post, and then, of course, your field work progress report, which is due Sunday, and it tells a 1 to 2 page. And make sure you run your papers through Grammarly. Most of you've done pretty good at this. Your paper should include in-text citations and references, and a separate reference page. So in-text references mean actually citations. And it should be a minimum. I said a minimum of 1 to 2 pages, not including the reference page or the cover sheet. Because I want to see what you're doing there in terms of your report. Remember, you had the 10 hours that you had to complete. So now let's take a look at the actual module. Again, finally, repeating the assignments. Be sure to reflect on how a current event or trend has influenced your field work, because things are constantly happening in criminal justice today. I mean, every time you turn on the TV or listen to the news, there's something that's happening, particularly in law enforcement, also in corrections as well. And then your discussion post, which deals pretty much with helping you to apply and understand your transferable skills. And you remember the transferable skills are here: communication, ethics, professional responsibility, diversity, and teamwork. And also be sure that you understand communication. It is so important. And then the personal skills: digital fluency, information literacy, and then, of course, critical thinking. Absolutely essential in terms of performing. So these cover all of your transferable skills. So for your response, provide another student with suggestions on their own experiences as well. Now, don't be negative when you do so. Most of my students are not, but be helpful. And then your live lecture, which is taking place right now. Okay, and it's a requirement in this course that you attend the lecture or give me the keyword. Okay. So now let's go back. Let's go back and look at the lesson content. Demonstrating the importance of gaining professional experience. You know, one of the things that was very valuable to me, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer and worked with lawyers. And so early on, I was fortunate enough right out of high school to get a job in a big law firm. Now, I wanted to do criminal law, but I was happy to just get into law. So I started in the mailroom. And when I was in the mailroom, I let the lawyers know that I met that I was interested in becoming an attorney. Of course, at the same time, I was registered in classes at night, and in most quarters, I was full-time and raising a family, so working 40-hour work weeks as well. And finding myself where, you know, I had to keep up with my work and balance my time with the family, and then, of course, perform well on my job. But what I did do was take the opportunity to pay attention to what the lawyers were doing. As a result, they moved me up from a messenger to a file clerk to ultimately a law librarian, and then what they call today a paralegal. This is all before law school. And I would go to court. I would go to real estate closings. I would do all kinds of things with the lawyers. I began to see things that I did. And it gave me some experience about how the field really worked. And while it was a corporate law firm, they did also what we call pro bono or free cases in criminal cases. So I used to go to court and sit and listen and learn and pay attention. So I gained what you guys are doing now with your fieldwork experience. And so it enhanced my ability. So then when I got into law school, I immediately started spending time at the criminal courts when I had opportunity to go and watch cases and listen to lawyers and watch what they were doing. So I was gaining my field experience from that particular point. So that's what this course is designed to help you with. And so at the same time, I was, without even knowing, preparing myself for utilizing the transferable skills of good communication. We didn't have digital fluency, by the way, at that time, because there was no digital stuff around. So early on, we didn't have any of that stuff because we had regular books and paper and stuff like that. But I did still have to deal with diversity, even though it wasn't a popular topic then. But I had to deal with people from all walks of life, all their backgrounds, and economic and social and religious and various views. So I had to learn how to operate within that vein also. And I had to learn how to research. Informational fluency was very important, knowing how to find the law, knowing how to find information. We didn't have the online stuff, so I went to the library. I went to the law library. We had a big law library downtown. And then at the law school, when I was there, I used to spend a lot of hours in that library. It was open 24 hours a day, and we could go there, and we could study anytime we got ready to. So I spent a lot of time developing that skill as well. And I began to see professional responsibility. We were taught ethics in the law and in law school, and we were also taught professional responsibility about how we are supposed to function. So all of these things were beginning to help me, and so the transferable skills that you guys are doing, and then teamwork is mentioned. When I was in the big law firm, constantly lawyers were assigned different aspects of the case and would come together in team meetings. I sat in on many of those and learned a whole lot. And so what you're doing in this course is very valuable. And some of you guys need to understand that this is not coursework. This is more preparation for your field. And so the contemporary issues in criminal justice brings you to an opportunity to be able to take what's going on in your field right now to be able to learn about them, because one day you do hope to make it there. So again, these are the assignments that I talked about earlier. And those are the things that are so important. Again, your 10 hours, I go back to visit because I want you to see this, Module 1, which you have access to all throughout the quarter. And it explains your field work and the importance. 10 hours where you shadow a professional and gain real-world experience. See what they're doing. See how they do it. You get a chance to get direct observation. And it takes place in steps. Step 1, research and identify a local criminal justice agency where you can complete a minimum of 10 hours field observation, and then some possibilities. A halfway house to observe caseworkers managing release offenders. Those are the kinds of things that you need to make sure. Court proceedings, that's probably one of the easiest ones to go to, as well as doing ride-alongs, where a student of mine, I was just talking to former student of mine who's now in Florida, who's engaged right now in ride-alongs, and he was explaining to me he had a 12-hour ride-along. I said, wow. And he did that in one day, and if he was taking this course, which he's not, he's taking another course, that experience right there alone is invaluable because he wants to be a police officer. And I said early on in week 1, if for any reason you can't identify an agency, contact me immediately. Some students have waited, and that's created a very serious problem for them. You don't have to complete a single session. You can split it up as well. But as I was telling you about this one young man, he did. Then your second step is to contact the agency. And then let them know, introduce yourself. I told you to do all of these things. And make sure you are understanding what they'll allow you to do. And at least one module before your scheduled meeting, deliver professional letter to the agency confirming the date and time of whatever it is you're going to be doing. During your ride along or agency visit, pay close attention to all that is happening. Take notes as you go. Remember, while conducting the field work, you operate professionally. Remember, we're talking about your transferable skills, how to dress, how to look in a professional fashion. You're a representative of our college and of the program. And the idea is for them to look at you so that they can remember you, and when you get ready to apply for a position, then you can either use it for a reference or either you can, they'll be familiar with who you are. And then in the final stage, in a 2 to 3 page report, document describing what you observed while conducting field work. As a conclusion to the report, 1 to 2 paragraphs describe how your education that you've had prepared you, and include a cover page with your name, the agency, the dates and time of your field work, the name of the person you observed, the contact information for the agency and the person you observed. And then you have to make sure you did it with APA format as required. And I said this, look at this. You are strongly encouraged to schedule your field work as soon as possible. Try to make your field work between modules 4 and 7 to allow time to process all the information you gathered and prepare your report by the due date. And, you know, you were required to present your first report, update, module 5, then don't wait long, and your final report is due module 9. So there are students who are reaching out to me now who are saying to me that they haven't been able to do anything. That is not good. That is not good. And as a result, based on the syllabus, when you look at it, let's go down. I want to show you something, which we went over in open house. I did everything I could to prepare you. It warns you about the requirement, discussion post, written assignment, and the field work. And it tells you this, that your field work consists of 90 points, 90 points, or 14% of your grade. So therefore, if you lose 90 points, or most of those points, the most you can get is like 515 points. 515 points. And 515 points, I can't tell you what the percentage will be, but you are messing with the A-B area, and you don't want that to happen, okay? So if you're losing 14% of your grade, then 14% usually starts you with a B, yeah, a B, because 14% loss of 100 is 86. So you're around this area. So you got a problem here, and you won't be able to get an A. And you could end up with a B, but you'd have to have everything else on time and done as well. So that's why it's important for you to understand that requirement. So I'm going to go back. Again, week 8, and make sure that you understand that the importance of getting that field project done properly and well. I have encouraged students to reach out to me. I have already given you the parameters that you can reach me any hour of the day except the 25th hour of the day. I am available. I have helped a few students and guided them, but it is very, very, very important that you get something done according to the parameters. You're at the point where you've been in the school long enough to understand the guidelines and requirements of this course, and then you are familiar with the transferable skills. Again, this is giving you a hands-on opportunity to be able to utilize those skills. Okay, so I am going to terminate this session, and I'm going to tell you that the key word in this assignment is transferable skills. Good night.